Alex Stevenson presents the trophy to Walter Gott. Alex Stevenson, wife of the chairman of Edinburgh Woolen Mills, and they're a keen racing owners themselves. That's a lovely start to the afternoon.
Now let's look back on the earlier races this afternoon. The first at 1:55 was the Albert Bartlett and Sons Novices Handicap Hurdle. Now, cast in mind back, a horse called Judami won this a few years ago. It was the last hurdle race he ever won, and of course he went on to win the Scotland Gold Cup and 3 Hennessy Gold Cup. Now there's a non-runner here with a horse called Generator who was tragically killed here yesterday. That meant 9 runners over 2 3/4 miles, and we have a red-hot favourite here. Simon Holt can tell us which one.
And Master Sandy headed the list, Tomo, at 5-2. On 5-1, Naughty Future, Mandalay and Supreme Soviet. Blue Charm at 10-1. On 12, then Shallow River and Tough Test. Lucy Man at 20-1. And Flower of Dunblane, Hadn't a Friend, 100-1.
So they start the turns into the home straight, and it's the favourite Master Sandy in the lead with the nose run in second. Tough Test. He's clear. Nordic Future top of the home run now. 3-4 flights to hurdles to take. And Master Sandy with the advantage. Tough Test in second place. Back in third is Nordic Future. These are well clear. Blue Charm coming down towards the third last now. And Master Sandy by a couple of lengths. Tough Test in second. Here we are. Here's Quick coming to the third last. Master Sandy comes to take it 2 clear. Off Tough Test. He's over safely. Getting that momentous in second place. In the third place is Nordic Future. Come down towards the second last. And it's Master Sandy in the lead. Back in second place, Tough Test. Here we are, Joy. Oh, it's gone through it. Master Sandy, what a bad mistake. He lost a bit of momentum. But Tough Test is under pressure, and so too Nordic Future. They've got one more flight of hurdles to jump. And it's Master Sandy coming to it. Pressing hard on the outside. It's Tough Test in the game. Master Sandy jumps it slowly. And Tough Test comes to pass Master Sandy as they drive to the line. Side horses. But Tough Test is going to take it. Tough Test to win a Master Sandy second. A big break to the third, Nordic Future.
Well, some mega bets went down on Master Sandy, but let's take nothing away from the winner, Tough Test, who is quite a well-backed long shot in that race, and it gives some sort of compensation to the Goodfellow family. Dawn Goodfellow trains that, the permit trainer just outside Kelso in the Scottish Borders, because for the second year running, Kaylee Boy has had to be withdrawn from the Scottish National. The reason being this year is the horse got cast in the box and just nicked the leg, so couldn't run. So some sort of compensation, and here's the FP.
Number 8, Tough Test, relishing the Tough Test at 12-1. Second, number 2, Master Sandy, the 5-2 favourite. And third, number 1, Naughty Future at 5-1. Non-runner number 7, 9 rand.
Well, the 225 was a 2-mile novices chase, 12 fences and just over 1 circuit of the track. We had 5 runners, of which No Pain, No Gain, representing the Marvellous Partnership. That's an odd name, isn't it? Representing the Marvellous Partnership, ridden by Philip Hyde, is a clear favourite. Simon Holt was confirmed.
7-4 on Josh Gifford's Chaser. Montrave at 4-1, along with Pagliaccio, also 4-1. On 9-1, Another Venture. Rounders out the 100-1 outsider.
So they start the turns to home straight. They've got 4 more fences to jump. There's Pagliaccio, bold display of jumping the leader. Red colours, No Pain, No Gain. Here comes Montrave on the outside. This is fall out. Would you believe it? Pagliaccio is a faller. And the first semblance of a mistake we made. Red colours the far side, No Pain, No Gain in second place to Montrave, come down towards the third last. Montrave coming to it, here's Quick comes to it, and it's Montrave in the lead, 2 in second place, No Pain, No Gain. They've got through the jump, one of these is an open ditch, and it's Montrave the green, red and blue the far side, No Pain, No Gain. Here we are, 2 out, Atwick, it was Montrave who led, 2 in second place, No Pain, No Gain. 1 to jump, and Montrave is suddenly very leg weary indeed, but No Pain, No Gain. It's a very tired horse too. They come down towards the final fence, and it's Montrave and No Pain, No Gain, and No Pain, No Gain just the stronger. Montrave back in second, and as they battle up towards the line, very leg weary indeed, but No Pain, No Gain going on by a length. Oh, what a tired horse, but he's going to win it. No Pain, No Gain. Montrave is second. And he's a long way clear of Another Venture running on for third.
And a lot of pain for the game for the favourite there. The 7-4 on market leader. Second, number 2, Montrave at 4-1. And third, number 4, Another Venture at 9-1. 5 rand.
And Alderbrook is put in the early show 4-5. 5-4 on Alderbrook. They've done even money, and 11-10 on the former champion hurdler. And this was run 4 times as a handicap, which it is now, in the late 60s. And Alderbrook, the former champion hurdler, at that time, another champion hurdler ran, Saucy Kit ran, in a 12-stone 7. That was in 1967, and finished third on the 12-stone 7. So the former champion hurdler now, Alderbrook, 5-4 on. I'll go down your car with the rest of them. 8-1 Pridwell, 5 Hotel Manila, double carpet 33-1 against Muse, 10-1 Land of Far, 7 Staunch Friends, a pony 25-1 Chief Minstrel, and 7 Escarter Thief. Some each way money for Martin Pike's 4-year-old Escarter Thief at the bottom. But this horse here, Alderbrook, bringing really fast to the race. Not the first champion hurdler to run in the race, of course. Sea Pigeon ran in it 5 times, won it twice, and was beaten when the champion jockey, the greatest jockey, rode it in 1981. Sea Pigeon. Lots of champion hurdlers have run in it. The former one, Alderbrook, 5-4 on. They're banking on here. The class horse in the soft ground, Alderbrook.
He's done well. So the runners beginning to file out of the paddock for the Scottish champion hurdle, sponsored by the Daily Star. A really fascinating lineup for this year's renewal. Here are the runners and riders.
And as Chief Minister goes through the picture, Alderbrook played 5-4 on favourite, which had done really. Pridwell, each way chances at 8-1. Chris Maud, Hotel Manila, 5-1 Graham Bradley. Muse, a probable front runner, 33-1 Paul Carberry. Land of Far, a fascinating horse, 10-1 Mark Wiresman. Staunch Friend at 7-1 is partnered by Peter Niven. Absalom's Lady at 14-1 by Tony Proctor. Chief Minister at 25-1 Tony Dobbin. And there's Carter Teague at 7-1, the man of David Bridgewater.
I've now been joined by John J. Nallen, the man who owns Hotel Manila. Dare I ask how you named this horse?
Call him after our hotel family business at home in Clonmel, County Tipperary.
And I think there'll be a few people watching in the bar today, will there?
Plenty of people watching today. Be a good night tonight if we win, hopefully.
Well, now, I've got to ask you, first of all, what happened at Cheltenham? You didn't run too well.
The ground, let's say, he was just, might have been just not right on the day. He spoke wrong the following day, and he was wrong for the past 3 weeks after Cheltenham. He spoke wrong, so he's just coming back to himself now.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably more than the ground in Cheltenham, because he did spoke wrong the following day. He didn't beat up.
Yeah.
He didn't grow up, and we took him home, he was wrong. So.
He was wrong there. So is he right today? And will he act on the ground, John? I mean, that's the question.
Hopefully he will. I mean, the ground here today is soft. The more rain comes now, the better. Then it
Really?
won't be holding, you know. I mean, it won't be holding. But it's not soft ground like we know soft ground.
Yeah. When it's soft, it's soft in Ireland.
I mean, we have soft ground, it's real soft. I suppose the ground in Leopardstown, it wouldn't be any worse than the ground was in Leopardstown at Christmas. The day we were second in Collier Bay. Wouldn't be any worse than last year in Leopardstown or Punchestown.
So
2 good ones. So hopefully he'll give a good account of himself anyway.
I hope he runs well.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, knowledgeable owner, and so is nice as a trainer when you've got somebody who knows what they're talking about. Certainly looks in good nick this afternoon, Hotel Manila, and everybody thought that Charlie Swan's problem at Cheltenham was going to be holding this horse up and getting him just right, and in actual fact it was never actually travelling well enough to ride that sort of a race on him. And fizzled out very early on in the race, didn't jump particularly well. Got the right man on board this afternoon, Alistair, when it comes to holding a horse up to the last moment.
Yeah, you just have to worry that he's had this slightly interrupted preparation for this race. Obviously wasn't right for some while after Cheltenham. And also I'm not convinced that the ground here today is what he wants. He's a very hard ride. You say that Brad is the right man to do it, but I think the ground's probably a gimme.
Well, the ground's absolutely spot on for Alderbrook. He ran a really smashing race in the champion hurdle. Wasn't good enough to win all right behind Collier Bay. Some people said that Richard Dunwoody probably left him a bit too much to do. I don't think that was the case at all. I think the horse was always close enough while he was travelling well enough. And I think that there was just a little bit of uncertainty about this horse's well-being before he actually ran. He'd always been a pottery mover, but I think there was just a little bit more to it when he went down to Lambourne to look at this horse before, and he just didn't have the same buzz about the yard as it did the year before, and considering that he ran a smashing race, he's bypassed the chance of going to a flat contest at Newbury to come here, and I think that's to our advantage. Right, Pridwell, third at Cheltenham, started the season off by running in novice chases, reverted back to hurdles, won a good race at Ascot, and ran as good as he is at Cheltenham. Escar to Feed, the other one of Martin Pike's runners, came over from France with quite a big reputation, bolted up, beat a decent horse at Lingfield, and Alistair, he's always been a favourite of yours.
Well, I think a tremendous amount of this horse, and he ran very well the fourth in the Triumph, and ran decently again at Aintree when his stable companion Silver Shred won, but this ground today, he'll go on this, and I think, you know, he could be the one, despite the fact he's chronically wrong at the weight. He thinks he's short of 7 to 1, the each way seems to be back in. He could be the one to bustle them up a bit.
Staunch Friend is one that I like a lot. He's a horse who's probably not been at his best so far this season, but it was interesting and also confidence boosting to Mark Tompkins that he had a flat winner in the middle of the week at Newmarket. Horses are in much better form. Let's see if he figures in the betting.
Staunch Friend, the 8-to-1 fourth in the betting at the moment. Alderbrook, a very strong favourite, 6-4 on. Hotel Manila 11-2, Carter Feig at 7, Staunch Friend at 8, 9 Pridwell, and 12-1 Bardo.
And onto the course for the eye catchers for us in the paddock. Staunch Friend, a Carter Feig going to post. Alderbrook in the betting ring. Pridwell easy to back. So there, Absalom's Lady just coming out in front of Pridwell.
But the heavy hitters are in for this favourite Alderbrook from even to 6-4 on. No, 1 or 2 are asking for 11-8 on the rails. 11-2 Hotel Manila, and it's then 7-1 the East Grey horse, Escartifee.
Lining up then for the Steady Star of Scotland Scottish Champion Hurdle. And the Grey Absalom Lady just taking a turn, and Muse being led in down at the start. That's it, they race away then, and it's the Elder pairing that's the lead. And it's Muse going on from, in second place, Absalom's Lady. Settling third on the outside, we've got Chief Minister, and they run to the first of 9 flights. And this trio ticked about 4 clear of Carter Feig, the inside of Pridwell. Then Hotel Manila held up towards the back of the pack, and so too is Alderbrook as they take the first, at which Muse led. They all jumped it safely, and Muse setting the pace too. In second place, Absalom's Lady. And then we have wide Chief Minister, and not much to do between those three, but they are about 5 clear of the black and white colours at Carter Feig, and then Lander Far, Staunch Friend, Alderbrook, Pridwell, and the back marker is Hotel Manila. This is the third, and it's Muse, the yellow jacket, the grey, Absalom's Lady, and on the outside is Chief Minister. 6 lengths back there, Carter Feig, then Lander Far, Staunch Friend, followed by Alderbrook, Pridwell, and Hotel Manila. Graham Bradley very much in the cat and mouse tactic on that one today. As they pass us with a circuit to go then in this Scottish Champion Hurdle. Home Counties won the race last year. A horse that comes from the back, and if you've plunged on Alderbrook, he's third last at the moment. In the centre of those 3 at the back. The 3 up front though are Muse, the yellow, the grey Absalom's Lady, on the outside Chief Minister, and these 3 still about 3 or 4 lengths clear, no more now. Carter Feig moving well in 4. Then we have Lander Far and Staunch Friend and Alderbrook and Hotel Manila and Pridwell. 3 flights of hurdles to jump on this stretch of the track, and there's no change. It's Muse who leads, Chief Minister and Absalom's Lady. Muse, Chief Minister, Absalom's Lady, 1, 2, 3, Carter Feig setting 4. Lander Far wide in 5 as they take the first, and a bold jump there by Muse, and a rather slow jump at the back of the pack by Pridwell. Head down towards the next, with a little change up front. And it's Muse in the lead. Muse, Chief Minister, Absalom's Lady. These 3 stole a march at the start. They're halfway now. Carter Feig in third, and the others bunching up. Lander Far and Alderbrook and Staunch Friend the inside, out wide. Hotel Manila creeping a little bit closer. And still the back marker is Pridwell, as they've got just over 3/4 of a mile to go. 1 more flight of hurdles to jump on this stretch of the track, and then they turn for home. And it's Muse who leads. Muse, Absalom Lady, and on the outside, Chief Minister Eckhard of Peak, moving ominously through into 4 and getting significantly closer. Landafar the outside of him. Then comes Alderbrook, who's being played late by Richard Dunwoody. Staunch Friendly inside in green and white. Then Hotel Manila still moving well. Cribwell, all with chances. And they've got 3 more flights of hurdles to take. And Castle Mouse. Who's going to go first? If you back Alderbrook, he's the blue and white colours midfield. Richard Dunwoody sitting with a double handful, with the tempo quickening now. And Muse skittling around the corner to in second place. Chief Minister, this Eckhard of Peak, the black and white on this ground. Doesn't he like it? Heading for home, then just over 2.5 furlongs to go. And it's Muse. Look at this Eckhard of Peak. Soft ground is his 40. Alderbrook, the favourite, coming through for third. Landafar is the beige colours on the extreme left. Here we are, 3 out. 3 quick hurdles to jump. Muse, Eckhard of Peak, Alderbrook, the former champion hurdler with the noseband, looks to be going better than any now, doesn't he? Here we are, 2 out with the noseband. Alderbrook on the outside, Eckhard of Peak and Muse in then Landafar and Chief Minister being left behind in the rush. But it's Alderbrook, Clarky, down towards the final flight. Alderbrook pops it well. Eckhard of Peak in second, 2 set under the handicap. Muse blunders away his chances. Landafar comes through to be third. But it's Alderbrook in a league of his own. Eckhard of Peak in second, Landafar is third. And then we have Muse in 4 and Aston Lady, followed by Chief Minister and Cribwell and Hotel Manila. Never got competitive, and last of all was Staunch Friend. 11 to 8 on, and if you've laid the odds on, well, really, you were never in doubt, were you? What a classy performer he is, Ernie Fix, Alderbrook. This hard Ross horse with a noseband worn by him. Richard Dunwoody in those blue and white colours. Kim Bailey trained it up at Lambourne. A very smooth performance. Class will tell. But I'll tell you this much, for me, if he ever gets really heavy ground in the festival, I'd want to be in Eckhard of Peak in a couple of years' time. Getting plenty of weight here, but handicapped to get even more. However, Alderbrook has just simply annihilated him today.
Well, class has told. They've missed the John Portrait newbie to come here. They've done the right thing. And he travelled very well off the pace, very confident ride as befits horse of his quality. But Escartafig running 2 stone wrong for the pipe yard has run a blinder, as has Old Muse, John.
Yeah, certainly his old Ector in the firing line looked much more like his old self as 2 years ago. Escartafig going for home, and just not quite good enough. And this horse really on top class, flat performer, and his bit of speed at the end really just made all the difference. He was a good jumper. Those 3 hurdles came quickly together, got the right man on board, and once you just looked back through the pack and saw how well he was travelling, there was never any question about who was going to win.
Well, Mac was saying the big hitters were into him. He's actually started 11 to 8 on, and I would think that'll be a serious result for some of them in the betting shop.
The Brook returned 11 to 8 on favourite, did touch even money, as Alistair and I have said before. The heavy hitters were in on it. The runner-up and lots of each-way bets for this Escartafig, sent off at 8 to 1, and quite a few people have had the forecast there, with a third Landafar, a 14 to 1 chance. But Scotland welcoming back a really class horse, a former champion hurdler. And in this race, champion hurdlers have run it Sea Pigeon 5 times, Granville again twice, Persian War. See You then ran in this race, Night Nurse, Comedy of Errors and Persian War. They're welcoming here Alderbrook, a class horse. They love to see it, and they backed it to prove it.
News from first now on the 320. First number 15 stuffed at 13 to 2, completing an 81.5 to 1 double for jockey John Egan and trainer Mick Easterby. Second number 10 Royal Dome at 15 to 2. Third number 3 Lady Sheriff at 12 to 1, and fourth number 18 Montra Star at 14 to 1. The favourite there, number 17 Tenor at 3 to 1, 18 left.
This horse, and he paid a very considerable compliment, John, to his conqueror at Cheltenham, Collier Bay.
Yeah, certainly. And Richard Dunwoody, well, he's had so many good Saturdays this season. Put him on the old earnings mark of over £1 million now. Brought a smile to the face of trainer Kim Bailey. Even if the lad doesn't look too happy, sure he is certainly going to make the long journey back to Lambourne.
an awful lot easier. I expect there was a fair bit of debating as to whether they were going to come here and running in this champion hurdle or go to Newbury. There was a good flat race for him there. When horses have bad joints, it's always a bit of a risk jumping 8 flights of hurdles from now, owner and pick. Listening intently to what Richard's got to say.
Now at Bangor on the 310, a win there for number 1 Jers, the 11-8 favourite, winning by distance. Second, number 3 Bentley Manor at 20-1, and third, number 4 Copper Cable at 50-1, 6 rounds. And now confirmation of the result here at Ayr. First, number 1 Alderbrook, the 11-8 on favourite. Second, number 9 Carter Feig at 8-1. And third, number 5 Land of Far at 14-1. The totes, the win paid 170, places 130, 190 and £3.20. Dual forecast £8.20, straight forecast £8.10, and the tri-cast £49.83. 9 rounds.
Great one, Jim.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Tim, you look pretty cool, but that was sensation.
It was a great performance, top weight in a handicap like that. You know, I felt sorry for the horse getting beaten at Cheltenham, but he had a good performance today. He deserves it. I'm very pleased with him.
He was going so well, Richard seemed to let him go earlier than is usually the case.
Yeah, I said to him not leave it as late as possible, but he was always going well on himself today. The horse is in great form today.
What was the difference between his form today and at Cheltenham, or do you just think that, you know, he got beaten by a good horse on the day at Cheltenham?
He got beaten by a good horse on the day, and then frankly there's no point looking back at Cheltenham. Cheltenham is what happened, and that's the end of the story. You know, he's won a Scottish champion hurdle now, and the horse has done me pride, and I'm very happy for the horse.
And you sort of worked, well, wonders to get him back after the operation he had last summer. I mean, do you know the plans, whether he's going to go flat racing, stay hurdling, or...?
Well, the plan was always to give him a break after Liverpool, and we were unfortunate the ground went against Liverpool. We always felt he'd get the trip at Liverpool, but, you know, we kept him going. We couldn't turn the horse out now. And, you know, I suggested to Mr. Pitt we ran up here. He was quite keen to go to Newbury. And it was totally on the ground, really. We've had softer ground up here. If we had very soft ground at Newbury and firm ground, he'd have gone to the other meetings. So, from my point of view, it's a great relief he's come here. But, you know, the horse future is in the balance at the moment. We'll see what happens.
Some horse, some race. Thank you very much.
He's a good horse. Thank you.
Lovely.
A typical result of the Ladbroke Spring Cup at Newbury. Big prices all the way. First, number 14 Royal Philosopher at 25-1. Second, number 15 Cool Edge at 14-1. Third, number 1 Caddo Trist at 12-1. And fourth, number 7 Welton Arsenal at 16-1. No sign of the favourite Clan Ben, who went off a 7-1 chance, 20 rounds.
So Kim Bailey justifiably taking the plaudits along with his owner after Alderbrook's sensational performance in the Scottish Champion Hurdle. The Scottish National next up on our menu. What will befall that? Join us very shortly.
The Citroen Zandia has one of the most advanced suspension and handling systems in the world. A system that compensates for every bump and bend the road can throw at you. So when they say there's no rock and roll, they mean it.
Imagine you're on a journey. How will you get there? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. You're on a journey, and the journey is the destination.
Imagine it was your finances on the line. You can see why some people might think three's a crowd.
There's no middlemen or shareholders. It's an equitable life, Henry.
Starting this weekend and for the next 11 weeks, the Sunday Telegraph contains a free MasterChef menu card. Sunday best value at only 70p.
This halter bed's infinitely adjustable on either side for people of different weights, so it's ideal for Mrs. Yakamoto here. Not to mention Mr. Yakamoto. What will they come up with next? Call 0345 224567 for your better, smarter, nearer upholstered dealer.
I'm not what you'd call a world traveller. Fact is, I've never left Britain. I'm happy as I am. But Margaret used to tell me that every person should follow their dreams. And that's just what I'm doing. I don't know much about technology, really. I just want it to do what it promises.
ICL, Information Technology, supporting your way of life. Buy any pair of spectacles for $69.99 or more at Dolland & Aitchison, the optician, and we'll give you a stylish pair of prescription sunglasses absolutely free. A sight more value, a shade more style at Dolland & Aitchison, the optician.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a breathtaking performance by Alderbrook, a champion hurdler in 1995, perhaps a little bit unlucky just a month ago, but a really triumphant winner here. Thanks to the Daily Star of Scotland for sponsoring the Scottish champion hurdle, arguably the best field we've ever had. And on the podium now is the editor for the Scottish edition of the Daily Star, Mr. Andy McInnes, and I ask him, please, to present this lovely vase behind him to Mr. Ernie Pick, the lucky owner of Alderbrook. Mr. McInnes, a big hand, please, ladies and gentlemen. Ernie Pick, I know.
And good old Richard Pittman in the Daily Star did tip Alderbrook to win their own race, so the paper will be pleased with that. Now coming ahead to the second Senior Scottish National, as I said on the morning line, I keep repeating year in, year out, a terrible race for favourites. Only 3 have won since 1935, and only 1 here in 30 running today, and that was the great Red Run himself, 11-8 in 1974. And we're having now some doubt as to who's going to go off favourite. General Wolfe in places now out to 4-1. You can still get 9-2 against Morgan Tarver, but generally a 4-1 chance with 6-1 against Los Dragoni and 9-1 Tartan Towers. You see a bit of money for Tartan Towers. Too Good to Be True is out for 10-1. Too Good to Be True or holding at 10-1, and 12-1 now Stop the Waller, who was a 20-1 chance this morning. But I'm asking you as favourite backers, will you be prepared to try and become only the 4th favourite and back it to become either General Wolfe or Morgan Tarver, only the 4th favourite to win since 1935. It's a terrible race. No wonder the bookies love it.
Now there's still time to enter the picture puzzle competition this afternoon. You have to say which horse this cartoon depicts. It's running somewhere today. The number to call is 0891 991144. And some special prizes this week. There's a star prize of 2 members' badges and lunch at next Saturday's Whitbread Gold Cup, plus £100. And there are 2 runner-up prizes, also of £100. So that number again, 0891 991144 for the picture puzzle.
Just been joined by a couple of jockeys who are riding in the Scottish National, Graham Bradley and Paul Carberry. Let's start with you, because I've just seen your trainer struggling with a saddle, which must have so much lead in it, couldn't be better.
11 stone 10, and I'm a natural lightweight these days.
Yeah.
So he did have a bit of lead in the saddle. Yeah.
So, I mean, up this home straight after, what, 4 1/4 miles, he's going to be feeling it.
It's going to be very tough. He's got the ground that he likes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he'll get the trip. We've just got to play it by ear, really, and hope he doesn't break a blood vessel.
Yeah, what can he do about that? Anything else?
Nothing whatsoever, just pull him up, that's all. Ground was too quick for him at Liverpool. He's got his ground today, we'll just give it a go.
He is the class act in the race. Paul, can I talk to you, because you ride Stop the Waller, who won at Cheltenham, but he's way out of the handicap. How much will that detract from your chance?
I won't take much chance to win. He's a very good chance. I think he'd gallop all day, jumps well, and ground and shooting as well. He'd plug on it. He'd be still galloping it there after 4.5 miles. He'd keep galloping.
He certainly got up that hill all right, didn't he?
Yeah, flew up it. That's all he does, is stay and jump, so let's have a good chance.
How do you think the race will go? Because I know it's soft out there, but they normally go a pretty good gallop.
Usually big races, they always fly down to the first tonight. After about a mile, they'll steady up and go a proper race gallop. Just ease away for as long as they can. Quicken up the last circuit, I suppose. The best of them is still there to finish. Hopefully he'll be there.
And it's going to be a hard slog out there, isn't it?
It is, certainly is.
It is. Well, I wish you two all the best. I've got two little lads here. Oh, you two, come here. Look at these two little lads. I know where you two are from. And what's this? Look at this. They've got the money in the pocket. What's it going to go on?
Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Right. And how much have you got in here? Look at all that money. Which horse are you going to be putting the money on?
Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Well, I hope couldn't be better wins. Good luck, you two. Thanks for joining us.
So, couldn't be better defy top weight in the Stackers Casino Scottish Grand National. The preliminaries are reaching their midpoint. Most of the horses in the paddock, the jockeys will be joining them in 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll be right back there when that happens.
Oh, I think it's stopped.
It's all right.
He seems quite happy where he is.
The new Rover 400 Saloon. The second most comfortable place you'll ever be.
If you usually receive a tax return form, remember, check all papers relating to tax and make a record of your income and expenses. That way you won't lose sleep over self-assessment.
For more information, ring 0345 16 15 14 anytime.
Weekend. I hate weekends. I drink more.
I'm not what you call a world traveller. Fact is, I've never left Britain. I'm happy as I am. But Margaret used to tell me that every person should follow their dreams. And that's just what I'm doing. I don't know much about technology, really. I just want it to do what it promises.
ICL, Information Technology, supporting your way of life. Every month, thousands are coming back to BT. What is it that they like so much?
I've noticed that the prices have started to drop.
I found the prices for most competitors.
They're considerably lower than they were before.
Before you had to pay for the nearest unit. Now you pay for what you use.
If you've left us, we want you to come back too, so we've set up a special helpline.
My bills are cheaper than what they were when I was on BT before.
A penny a minute at the weekend is excellent.
The more cuts, the better.
100 minutes on the phone for £1.
We never stop
For
talking.
full details, call 3 phones 0800 800 060.
New 7 Seas high-strength pure cod liver oil helps maintain supple and flexible joints. Now concentrated into smaller capsules, there's no better way to take it.
So all 20 runners in the paddock, and I must say for the time of year these old chasers look tremendously well in themselves. Hours gone into fatting them up and preparing them. Here's Graham with a full list of runners and riders.
For this, the Stackers Casino Scottish Grand National, in which the top weight is couldn't be better. 14-1 Graham Bradley, Wilford 12-1 Rodney Farrant. The blinkered Low Stragoni will be finishing at 6-1 Russ Garrity rides. Tartan Tyrant 8-1 Tony Dobbin. The Greystoke team in form. Chatham is 20-1 David Bridgewater. Morgan's Harbour, ridden at 3 pounds overweight by Peter Niven, is 9-2. Arthur's Minstrel 14-1. Richard Johnson claiming 3. So Peter Lely doesn't take part, but General Wolf does. That's 4-1 with Richard Dunwoody chasing a big race double. Tartan Trade wins is ridden by Brian Harding, who wears a distinguishing purple cap. The McKinnon Mills have 2 runners in this race. Too Good to Be True, 10-1 Lorcan Wire. Mary Master Blinker 28-1 Chris Maud. Moorcroft Boy 25-1 Mark Swy. Kaylee Boy doesn't take part. Stop the Waller does, down to 10-1 Paul Carberry's man, number 15. Number 16 is Abercrombie Chief, 50-1. It'll go on the ground, you know. Chris Bonner now rides. He claims a £3 allowance but puts up a pound overweight. Boarding School is ridden by Brian Story at 150-1. Magic Rain 150 to 1 is £2 overweight for Gary Carhill, who's playing 5. Nils Midge 150 to 1, Jason Callahan, Twin States 150 to 1, Willie Fry. Bantam Bill is right at 150 to 1, Robert Bellamy. Off the Brew doesn't take part. Benghazi does, but if that wins, it's 500 to 1. And if you backed it, I should go out and buy a few lottery tickets as well. Davy Parker claims the 3. That's the lineup then for the Stackers Casino Scottish Grand National.
General Wolf, walking round, big lean looking horse, who tipped up, had a nasty tumble in the Kinmure at Cheltenham, hasn't run since, but he's got rock solid form with some good horses. He'll gallop, he'll appreciate this soft ground, and he's a worthy favourite.
He's improving, he stays, and that's what you're going to need today. It could be like the retreat from Moscow when they come up straight here. It's going to be a real bitter test.
I would say I agree with Jim. I've never seen chasers look as well as they do at this time of the year. Morgan Tarver, 10 wins from 14 runs since he's been running over hurdles and fences, and he's been very lightly raced. He's had this race in mind right from the start of the season, and admittedly the ground's gone against him a little bit, but he's been laid out to such effect by Mary Reevely that you've still got to hold him in fairly high regard.
John and Alistair on the 2 joint favourites, but there's plenty more to see, and you won't miss it. You won't miss it. We'll be back very shortly.
Some people think they'll never be a good gardener. That's nonsense. All they need is confidence and a little miracle grow.
I was a prize winner. It wouldn't have been possible without Miracle Grow.
When I started using Miracle Grow, I won a national competition. And look, they even put the picture on the front cover.
Just imagine, I won an award for my hanging basket.
You'll never know what a great gardener you can be until you use Miracle Grow. And Miracle Grow is so easy to use with the no-clog feeder.
I'm not what you'd call a world traveller. Fact is, I've never left Britain. I'm happy as I am. But Margaret used to tell me that every person should follow their dreams. And that's just what I'm doing. I don't know much about technology, really. I just want it to do what it promises.
ICL, Information Technology, supporting your way of life. Who could save you up to 30% on your home contents insurance? Call free 0800 282820. Guardian Direct.
That Woody is really friendly, unless he hears a high-pitched noise.
That way, take the rough with the smooth.
So the parade begins, and the colours of yours truly, worn by Lorcan Wire. Too Good to Be True, attended by Hazel Wynn. Tackles 4 miles for the first time, followed out by Los Dragoni, ridden by Russ Garrity. Russ, a colleague of Lorcan's at Peter Easterby's, but shortly to join, or next season to join, Nicky Hammond full-time. Morgan Tarver. Tough stare, ridden by an equally tough rider, the leading northern jockey, Peter Niven. Chatham and David Bridgewater. Chatham, now 12, he was a brilliant horse at his best. Maybe not quite as good as in other days, but a force to be reckoned with if he puts his talent to you. Martin Type's second runner, Bantown Bill. Something of an outsider, but owned by popular northern owner Eric Starr. And last year's winner, Wilsford, ridden by Rodney Farron, a real character of a horse, been on the go for 8 seasons. Punters love him, so does his trainer. Moorcroft Boy, placed in a Grand National in gruelling conditions, looked like coming back to form last time, ridden by Mark Dwyer. Brian Story going through. Magic Rain, that's Benghazi the outsider. There's Richard Dunwoody on General Wolf. Mills Midge, Stop the Waller, Tartan Tyrant, Twin State, and Tartan Tradewinds wearing a distinguishing cap. Merry Master, and couldn't be better the top weight, ridden by Graham Bradley, has 11 tender carry today. Well, earlier there were joint favourites. What's the latest, Simon?
We've got a clear favourite now, Jim. General Wolf at 4-1. Joint second favourites, Morgan's Harbour and Low Strigoni, both on 5-1, and there's money for Low Strigoni from 6s. Tartan Tyrant at 7s from 8-1, on 9-1, Too Good to Be True. Showing at 12s then Stop the Waller, on 14-1, Wilsford, last year's winner. At 16s, Arthur's Minstrel, Tartan Tradewinds and Couldn't Be Better. And then on 20-1 is Chatham, also 20s Moorcroft Boy, Merry Master out to 33-1, on 50-1 Abercrombie Chief, and then the fancy priced horses, Boarding School, Mills Midge, Twin States and Bantown Bill, all 150-1. You can have 200-1 Magic Rain and 500s about Benghazi.
I've now been joined by David Nicholson. You tell me you've ridden in it a few times, David.
Well, I even rode in it at Brookside.
And that is going back a bit, isn't it?
It's good, eh?
We better come right up to date. You've got 2 runners today. I think you will appreciate this rain, won't you?
We should love the rain. I'm delighted to see that Mark Dwyer has used his brains and gone down on the outside of the chase course, going to post.
Yeah.
And not gone pound through the mud on the inside of the herd race course.
How much more confident are you? When you came in for breakfast this morning, you were very happy that you were wet, because when you came up here this week, you weren't too pleased, were you?
I mean, we were worried it wasn't going to be soft enough for Moorcroft Boy.
Yeah.
Is it soft enough now?
How will they both run, Arthur's Minstrel and Moorcroft Boy?
Well, Arthur's Minstrel seems to run much better for Richard Johnson than he does for anybody else. And Moorcroft Boy is in great form, maybe third in the middle of the National. He's been coming back to form. He will stay all day, and provided Mark Dwyer is prepared to kick most of the race, we'll be fine.
He'll have to earn his fee here.
Well, they should earn their fee all the time, shouldn't they?
Good luck, David.
Cheers.
Well, there's Moorcroft Boy. Clearly in good order, according to the Duke, and but you toxed the last time over 4 miles too. He never really got into the race, but he just, I mean, he stays forever and a day. And I have a suspicion that if Mark Dwyer can nurse him round, if it turns into the extreme stamina test we expect, then this old stager into 20s from 25s could well take a hand each way.
Yeah, lucky to still be alive. Had a really nasty fall a couple of years ago. Great to see him back again. It'd be wonderful if he could win this race. I certainly endorse David's thoughts about Mark Dwyer taking a horse down on the outside of the hurdle track on the better ground. So many jockeys, flat and jump, let them plough through the churned up turf. Low Strigone, he's a horse who unfortunately had to miss this year's National at Liverpool, taken certainly slightly off colour a couple of days beforehand, had to be withdrawn. Tom Tate, though, his trainer, convinced to be back to his best.
And the subject of a significant market move here, John, now to 92 joint favourite. This morning you can back him for a longer price than he was for the National, which is extraordinary. But the punters are on to him.
Seen plenty of Wilsford, last year's winner, running in this for his 4th occasion. And most of the time he's an exceptionally good jumper. Just got cross wires last time, and the Midlands National ended up on the floor. None the worse for that, though. It's gone up 14 pounds since winning last year. The ground's a little bit softer than he'd have liked, but he's such an old campaigner that he's sure to give a good account of himself. Plenty of horses here in the chat. Let's have a take a betting show.
And Wilford is 14 to 1 to stage the repeat. But the money has come for Low Stragoni, now down to 9 to 2 joint favourite with General Wolf. At 5 to 1 Morgan's Harbour, showing at 8 then Tartan Tyrant, 9 to 1 Too Good to Be True. Stop the Waller at 12s, Wilford 14s. On 16 to 1 Arthur's Minstrel, Tartan Trade Wins and Couldn't Be Better is 20 to 1 bar.
Low Stragoni, a big gamble prior to the Martel Grand National, down to 6 to 1 when withdrawn. It's been back from 13 to 2 in the offices this morning. 6 to 1 on the course. It's now 4 to 1. Clear favourite, Low Stragoni, to win the Scottish National, despite the terrible record for favourites, of course. On the shoulders, 9 to 2 now against General Wolf. And weakest of the front three is Morgan's Harbour at 5. Very solid Scottish support for Tartan Tyrant, and 8 to 1 chance Tartan Tyrant. Holding up at 9, and no bookmaker dare go 10. Too Good to Be True. 100 to 8, Stop the Waller. They've done 20 to 1. A 6,300 each way and a 5,300 each way. 16 to 1, Stop the Waller. And it's 14 to 1 bar those.
The eye catcher is Low Stragoni down in the betting ring. Just served plenty of late money for him. Arthur's Minstrel on the way to the post. Chatham didn't move too well. Tartan Tyrant took our eye in the paddock. They're coming under started orders. Here's Graham.
For this second Casino Scottish Grand National, they've got 3 circuits of the course to complete. Jerry Scott getting them in order. Chatham the inside, the purple cap Tartan, the Trade Wins. And then the green and yellow is Boarding School. Mills with the check put it on the extreme right. Low Stragoni in the firing line. But that's it. And Low Stragoni is Slow Stragoni. They've got a long way to go, and they go to the first 100 yards or so on the run to the first and Stop the Waller and Wilford share the early work. Abercrombie Chief and Bantam Bill make a line of 4, with Merry Master 5 and the Trade Wins on the inside 6, the Tyrant wide in 7. And just with these ones is Benghazi. They're at the first of the 27 fences they jump, and they've all taken it safely. And as they head away towards the second, it's on the inside. Stop the Waller, Wilford and Merry Master out wide as they come to take the second. And then behind these comes General Wolf, who jumped it well. Chatham, a very bad mistake at the second and lost many lengths. Benghazi, the back marker, couldn't be better last with 1. Morgan's Harbour last with 2, and they go to the first of the ditches they jump. And it's Abercrombie Chief that's come through to share it, with General Wolf and Merry Master out wide. Stop the Waller, the inner. And then behind these Arthur's Minstrel and the Trade Wins, and then comes Low Stragoni and Bantam Bill. And Tartan Tyrant on the outside as they cross the next flight of the next fence. At the back of the pack, it's Benghazi, who's the trailer. Moorcroft Boy couldn't be better out the back, so too Morgan's Harbour and Chatham. So they get to the last on the far side for the first time, and still this line of 4. Merry Master in the maroon jacket on the outside takes the lead. Benghazi last there in black. Merry Master on the outside, Wilson the yellow just nosing ahead, Abercrombie Chief the inside, and then we have Stop the Waller, followed by General Wolf hugging the rail. The black and red is Arthur's Minstrel, and then Bantam Boy in blue and white, Low Stragoni in the orange in about the 7th spot. Twin States behind that racing wide. Then we've got the Tyrant in the yellow cap, the Trade Wins, the purple cap the inside, level up down towards fence number 6. And again those 4 in front of them. What a good jump by the old boy Wilford. A disappointing jump there by Twin States, who lost a bit of momentum. Come down towards fence number 7 then. And there's little change in that order. Still that line of 4 and 4 virtually in the air together. What a great sight. Too Good to Be True is quite some way down the pack, Jim, at this stage, with a long way to go. Couldn't Be Better is travelling wide on the track as they come down towards another open ditch, of which those 4, Wilford to the left, Merry Master to the right in pink, Abercrombie Chief, and running the rail, Stop the Waller, still forced to pace. Low Stragoni nosing through, and so it's going to be a line of 5 here. Moorcroft Boy, Arthur's Minstrel racing in the 6th. General Wolf 7, then Bantam Bill, and so the first circuit completed, and it's Abercrombie Chief and Wilford and Merry Master and Stop the Waller and Low Stragoni and Arthur's Minstrel and General Wolf and Bantam Bill, and then behind that Tartan Trade Wins, followed by Twin States and Tartan Tyrant and Morgan's Harbour, and then Moorcroft Boy, Couldn't Be Better, Mills Midge, and after that one, Too Good to Be True. Boarding School out the back, Chatham, Benghazi living up to its quote of 500 to 1, and Magic Rain are the back markers as they set off down the back straight, where they have this line of 5 fences to jump. And Low Stragoni, the 4 to 1 favourite, General Wolf 9 to 2, Morgan's Harbour 11 to 2, Tartan Tyrant 15 to 2 are the odds of reward. but they've got a long way to go. Coming down towards fence number 10, and it's Abercrombie Chief in the pink jacket on the inside. That's running the rail. With Wilson and Merry Master and Low Strigoni and Stop the Waller, the leading quintet. Arthur's Minstrel and General Wolf cross it to the fence next. And then behind these, Bantam Bill, and then comes Tartan Trade Winds. Followed by Morgan's Harbour and Moorcroft Boy wide on the track, and Twin States and Tartan Tyrant, and the inside Mills Midge as the leaders take the next, of which there was no change. Mills Midge, a slight mistake. Magic Rain, very awful indeed, but in front of Boarding School and Benghazi, if they don't go much faster, those will be laps. Go to the open ditch on the far side of the track, and at which Merry Master jumped out badly to his right. Too Good to Be True is at the back of the main pack, and it's Abercrombie Chief who leads the picks. On the inside, races Stop the Waller in the blue and white. Out wide, Wilford still there, Low Strigoni, Merry Master, and then General Wolf holding a good position. And Jim, Too Good to Be True, not going too well at this stage as they head to the last on the far side. Couldn't be better making ground on the outside of the pack midfield as they cross the last on the far side. And up front it's Merry Master who shares the work with Wilson. On the inside, Abercrombie Chief, a line of 3. Blue and white is Stop the Waller. The orange and blue is Low Strigoni. Yellow cap the outside, General Wolf. Black and red is Arthur's Minstrel. Red and yellow is Moorcroft Boy. Blue and white the inside is Bantam Bill. Blue and white the outer in the hoops. Couldn't be better, travelling well. And then Morgan's Harbour as they come to the first in the home straight for the second time. This is the 15th. But what a marvellous sight it was. Apart from those of you who back Morgan's Harbour, his nose hit the ground there. Come down towards the next fence, number 16, and it's Abercrombie Chief leading. Abercrombie Chief here, Frick comes to it, a plain fence, Wilford the outside. And so the next fence they have to jump in the Stuckiest Casino Scottish National is an open ditch, and at which it's going to be just Abercrombie Chief and Low Strigoni who share it. Low Strigoni going on, Merry Master out wide. Arthur's Minstrel gets reminders of the fence, and they're starting to get well and truly strung out. I can tell you that Tartan Tyrant has been pulled up, Tartan Trade Wind has been pulled up, Magic Rain has been pulled up, and they cross what will be the last next time round, and it's Low Strigoni going for home. Rush Garrity, the leader, on the inside, and so the order. A circuit to go now. It's Low Strigoni, Merry Master, and Abercrombie Chief, and General Wolf, and Wilford, and Stop the Waller, and Arthur's Minstrel, and Moorcroft Boy, and couldn't be better, and these are starting to go 15 clear of Morgan's Harbour and Bantam Bill, and then comes Mills Midge and Twin States, a rank outsider, and then Boarding School, and Benghazi is going to go round in his own time, but that'll be quite some time yet. They've got 9 more fences to jump, and as they start the turn towards the back straight, and going to it, I can tell you that Chatham has been pulled up, and it's Abercrombie Chief leading as they start the turn towards the back run, and this race is developing into a real cracker.
Well, they've gone a serious gallop here all the way, and Abercrombie Chief been jumping really well at the front, just beginning to be challenged now by General Wolf, and there's about 9 or 10 pulled well away from the remainder of the field, and already 2 or 3 at the back, including Merry Master, beginning to get tired.
Moorcroft Boy travelling well on the hills leader. General Wolf made one slight mistake, but going really well up there in front. Abercrombie Chief below his odds was 50 to 1, running a fine race, and it looks to be between this group back to GG to call it home.
And Too Good to Be True has been pulled up, and Bantam Bill has been pulled up, and also at the back Twin States and Mills Midge have been pulled up. But let's concentrate now on the leaders. And bad mistake there by Arthur's Minstrel, and that's may have taken the stuffing out of him. As out wide, it's General Wolf under Richard Dunwoody who comes to take it, but the red and yellow on the outside, that's Moorcroft Boy, and it's 1 and 2. Abercrombie Chief in third, and then Arthur's Minstrel racing 4. These in front of Couldn't Be Better, and then Stop the Waller, and they begin the run towards the final fence on the far side. And it's Moorcroft Boy, the red and yellow, and General Wolf and Arthur's Minstrel, and then Abercrombie Chief. There goes Low Strigoni, and then Morgan's Harbour. They are well strung out. It's going to be a 20 to 1 chance, is it? Moorcroft Boy, the leader. He's come to take General Wolf, the long-time favourite. Richard Dunwoody rode the champion hurdle winner here but about half an hour ago. Can he take chasing Tartan Crown with General Wolf on the outside as they turn for home? And it's Moorcroft Boy in the lead. Mark Dwyer scenting victory now. 4 out. Moorcroft Boy from General Wolf in second. There goes Arthur's Minstrel. So David Nicholson with 1 and 3 at this stage in the Sackett Casino's Scottish Grand National. And they've got 3 fences to jump, and it's Moorcroft Boy Moorcroft Boy is coming to take it. He jumped it spring-heeled. General Wolf is in second, and then a very slow Arthur's Minstrel in third, and then behind these Abercrombie Chief and Low Strigoni. Only 5 might finish. This is 2 out. It's Moorcroft Boy. He's over safely to General Wolf in second, and Arthur's Minstrel in third. This has been a war of attrition. They've got one more fence to jump, but he's got his ears pricked. As Moorcroft Boy, the 11-year-old, going for only his 5th win, is a tired horse. He's coming to the stand side. This is the final fence, and he's over, but it's a crawl. However, General Wolf is nearest pursuer. It's very slow too. It's Moorcroft Boy. Flat to the boards is Mark Dwyer. He's having to work very hard, but Moorcroft Boy is going to take the Stackers Casinos Scottish Grand National. Moorcroft Boy is the winner. General Wolf is second, Arthur's Minstrel is third, Low Strigoni completes to be 4, and behind these we have, well, one of the ones to finish, Abercrombie Chief, and there's only going to be one other finisher, and that's the old boy Wilson, because looking down the pack, Morgan's Harbour is being pulled up, and all the others are being pulled up. Couldn't be better pulled up. He's trotting home safe. Stop the Waller has been pulled up, and, well, this has been a complete battle. Richard Dunwoody has got a smile and a shake of the hand to Mark Dwyer, but look at Mark. This goes to show this Stackers Casino Scottish Grand National was a severe test, but the tartan crown for chasing in Scotland goes to number 13, Moorcroft Boy, in the colours of Mr. K.G. Manley, trained at Temple Guiding by David Nicholson and ridden by Mark Dwyer. He's had to work hard, but so has the horse. He's been very game, Moorcroft Boy, winning his 5th race, and by far and away the most important, and a horse who has battled back from serious injury. Second horse home is General Wolf, the yellow cap there. Richard Dunwoody gave him a great ride, but as they came to the last, it was, or the second last, it was going to be Moorcroft Boy to home. Third horse home is number 7 in the card. That's Arthur's Minstrel, so David Nicholson first and third.
Well, you don't have to be very clever to see just how much effort these horses have put into this race. Absolutely out on their uppers. This horse, game as a pebble, his tongue's hanging out. I thought for a moment he might refuse. Mark Dwyer's given him a fantastic ride, right from taking him down to the start. General Wolf as well, given his all. But, well, Moorcroft Boy 2 years ago looked like going to the Knacker's Yard when he had that terrible fall at Liverpool, and it's wonderful to see him back here. Tremendous performance on his own behalf, and also from his trainer and the staff there at Jackdaw's Castle.
Moorcroft Boy at 20-1, another good result for the bookmakers of the Scottish National. It was a 25-1 chance in the offices this morning and was backed on the course at 25-1. The runner-up, General Wolf, 9-2. The third, Arthur's Minstrel, 16-1 Arthur's Minstrel. He was co-favourite last year when only paid. And fourth, Low Strigoni, the 4-1 favourite.
Well, this David Nicholson has never lost faith in this horse. All season he says, you know, he may not be as good as he was, but he's coming back, and he's raced off a mark very close to his last winning mark here today, even though he's miles out the way. And he threatened at Newcastle that if you presented him with a mammoth stamina test, that he could get back on the winning track. And really, if you think this horse, we all thought he was a dead horse, frankly, and it's a fine piece of training. And he was legless going for the last, and it's just courage, guts and stamina saw him home. There was a ghastly moment when it looked as if Mark Dwyer wouldn't be able to get him over the last, but he saw it out in amazing style. Tremendous run from General Wolf, the 7-year-old, in second, and not a bad third place for Jackdaw's Castle with Arthur's Minstrel. But a tough horse coming back to claim his right to win the Scottish National.
Number 13, Moorcroft Boy at 20-1, a very worthy winner. Second, number 9, General Wolf at 9-2. Third, number 7, Arthur's Minstrel at 16-1. First and third for trainer David Nicholson. And fourth, number 3, Low Strigoni, the 4-1 favourite. The totes there, the win paid £20.20. Places £2.90, £3.10, £3.30 and £1.60. The dual forecast £108.90. The straight forecast £100.29. And the tricast £1,395 and 52 pence. Non-runners 8, 14 and 22 and 20 rand.
Well, here we are with Hilda Manley, wife of the owner. The husband's not here.
No.
Where is he?
No, he does better when Ken's not here, actually.
He's golfing.
In Spain, yes.
Well, he's missed a really dour, brave performance.
Yes.
And this is a horse that nearly died a year ago, isn't it?
Yes, he did.
What happened to him?
He actually broke a vertebrae in his neck. And at Liverpool Hospital, they really looked after him and just nursed him along. Just a question of time. Every 24 hours, every 48 hours was vital. And then he, repaired and came to it. Well done.
And well, I can understand it because, I mean, those
I didn't honestly think he would race again. And I really think he would. And then...
sorry, I was just going to say, the last 4 fences, you looked like you'd win from about 6 out. You turned for home, you were on your own. I mean, what did you feel like watching on your own? I mean, could you watch?
Oh, well, only just. I just, it's just unbelievable. I just thought perhaps he'd tire. I was a bit concerned that he would tire totally. But he just kept going, still slogging and slogging, which he does, of course. So
and is he something of a pet? Do you go and see him regularly, or...?
Unfortunately, I live in Kent, and he's with David Nicholson, and so it's quite a distance. So I see him as often as I can, but not as often as I'd like to. But he is rather a pet, in a way.
And your husband's had the sunshine and the golf, but you've had the rain and a wonderful day.
Yes.
Many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, news from Newbury on the 4 o'clock. First number 1, Cherry Blossom, the 6-5 favourite. Second number 3, Copper Beach at 4-1. And third number 6, March Star at 7-1. Non-runner number 4 and 7 rand. At first, the 350, this was the first classic trial. And first number 6, Ramuz at 4-1. The classic form beginning to take shape. Ramuz was fourth to Beecham King on his final start last season. Second number 3, Bahamian Knight at 7-1. And third, the favourite, number 2, Ali Royale, 11-10 on, 7 rand.
Now, David, not one to sort of prey on personal intrusions, but Derek Thompson told me you burst into his bedroom at 1 o'clock this morning and said Moorcroft Boy will win the Scottish National.
Well,
you were right.
Luckily, I found the key. No, unfortunately, he locked it in his own room.
Well, it's true, that, is it? Yeah. And Moorcroft Boy, just been speaking to Hilda Manley. I mean, obviously, that's something of a poignant victory, David, because this is a horse I know you were very upset over.
I'm nearly speechless, and I've nearly lost my voice, and I'm nearly resorted to tears. But I mean, sorry, for him to come back after Liverpool 18 months ago, it wasn't even 18 months ago, whenever it was, November.
Sure, yeah, just over a year ago.
And to come back and do this is something special.
I mean, you've seen virtually everything in the game. Just saying to Hilda there, what was it like for her for the last 4 fences when you were clear but just idling a bit and maybe getting a bit tired? It's agonising, isn't it?
When he turned in, I thought he won't get beaten out.
And your other horse, let's not forget him either.
And then Arthur Smith ran a super race. I mean, the ground came right for Moorcroft Boy. It wasn't right for Arthur Mitchell. I mean, first and third, you can't ask for more, can you? Well, I've got a chance, haven't I? Going in the championship.
What have you got left to run, David? You got something in the Whitbread? You got a few.
Barton Bank.
Barton Bank in the Whitbread next week. Yeah. Well, it'll be the first time Derek Thompson's happy that someone did a Highland fling in his room at 1 o'clock this morning. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Now, latest news from Bangor on D, 3:45. First number 17, Marine Society at 14-1. Second number 1, Feels Like Gold at 13-2. Third number 18, Skircoat Green at 33-1. And fourth number 9, Royal Piper, the 6-1 favourite, 20 rand. Now at Leopardstown, the 3:30, this was the Leopardstown 1,000 guineas trial. And for the 4th year running, won by trainer John Ox, with number 5, Sharaka, the 11-8 favourite. Second, number 7, Tyrrell Hope at 9-1. And third, number 1, Dance Clear at 9-4, 7 rand. And in the 2,000 guineas trial, this was won by number 3, Deed of Love, trained by Jim Bolger, the 2-1 joint favourite. Deed of Love, fourth to Danehill Dancer in the National Stakes at the Curragh last season. Second, number 4, Pro Trader at 5-1. Third, number 5, Tasdid at 10-1. Dana Wari, number 1, was the other 2-1 joint favourite, 5 rand.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a tremendous training performance by David Nicholson. Moorcroft Boy, the winner of the Stackers Casino Scottish Grand National 1996. He broke his neck 2 years ago. Our thanks to Stackers Casino, They are now regular sponsors here and there, a feature of the Premier Steeplechase in Scotland. And on the platform at the moment we have Sandy Hastings, Regional Director of Scottish Casinos, who's got some splendid trophies to hand over. And the first one is the Stackis Scottish Grand National Perpetual Trophy, a magnificent little crystal glass, which Sandy is just taking very carefully and presenting to Mrs. Hilda Manley, wife of Kenneth Manley, owner of Moorcroft Boy. Your applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. And there is, by the side, a little trophy, a super brandy glass, a nice big brandy glass, which no doubt Hilda and Kenneth will be just filling just a little bit up to the brim to celebrate Moorcroft Boy's success. That also being handed over by Sandy Hastings, the Regional Director of Stackis Casinos. I said a tremendous performance by David Nicholson, and it is. He's going to come and get his prize in a moment, because, ladies and gentlemen, you'll probably remember that Moorcroft Boy broke his neck at Aintree in November 1994, after he had finished third in the Martel Grand National the previous spring. So a tremendous performance by David Nicholson, trainer of the winner, Moorcroft Boy.
Wade in, wade in.
As David Nicholson takes his bottle of champagne from Sandy Hastings, we have in fact got one more award for Mark Dwyer. Mark, the winning jockey, just about to come up after David has had his photograph taken. Very, very handsome picture now going to be emblazoned across the Sunday papers. Mark Dwyer now joining the platform, shaking hands with David Nicholson. Tremendous round of applause, please, for Mark Dwyer. Really great riding performance, gave Moorcroft Boy every assistance in the saddle. One of our very top jockeys from the north. Great round of applause. Mark Dwyer, well done. Well done, all the connections of Moorcroft Boy.
I'm just confirming that David Nicholson did appear in my bedroom. It was closer to midnight than 1 o'clock this morning, but he did say, I think it was something along the lines of Moorcroft Boy is going to win, but then he disappeared when a very angry D. Thompson sat up in bed. But it is an interesting story. More seriously, the £38,000 that David Nicholson's stable wins for that means that he's now won just short of £750,000. And that means he's now right behind his great rival, Martin Pipe, in the race for this season's Trainers' Championship. Pipe, the former champion, Nicholson, the reigning champion. And next week, of course, it's the Whitbread Gold Cup, the last big steeplechase of the season. And with over £60,000 going to win it, that could decide it. And I know the Duke is thinking of having 2 winners, so that could be interesting. There were really no hard luck stories. Obviously, ground made all the difference there. Richard Dunwoody, who rode General Wilson, said he ran his heart out. Richard Johnson, who rode Arthur's Minstrel, said he did his level best. And Russ Garrity came and said that was hard. But Low Stragome was 4th, and only 6 finished out of what? 20 started. It must have been very hard out there today, but I think a man who's smiling is the winning jockey, Mark Dwyer. Jim?
Mark, Brad said about an hour ago to Tomo he was a natural lightweight these days. 10-2 I always thought was a bit of a struggle for you, but you've done it no problem.
Yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't say no problem. I had to have a few sweats, but worthwhile, you know.
Yeah. Talking to the owner and also to David, I mean, it looked, as a spectator, it looked an agonising half mile or so over the last 4.
Yeah, I mean, I got my instructions off Mr. Nicholson, but getting to the front was never came into it. Whether he felt the horse would never get to the front or not, I don't know. But I felt Richard going down the back there over the ditch here, and he's got his eye on something going down to the last. You can see him flicking his ears there.
Was he going to refuse?
I thought he was for a second. I'm trying to see.
But his ears are pricked, aren't they? It's not...
Saddle slip here as well, you know, he's jinked a bit. The saddle slips as well, just there.
I suppose you can't repeat what was going through your mind.
Absolutely. But it's like, he's a great old campaigner, and he's marvellous for the horse to come back after breaking his neck 2 years ago, you know.
And until he hit the front, he looked to give you a lovely ride through the race.
Absolutely, all the way around. Mr. Eagle said he didn't want to see me any other way than exhausted when I came in, but he carried me all the way through until I got to the front, and then I just wanted to keep him going and keep him up to his work, which went nicely.
And Mark, he's a horse that's had a damaged vertebrae, but obviously, I mean, the fence is no problem to him, but no change in his jumping style. He flowed nicely for you?
Yeah, he missed one early on, and I wouldn't think he'd ever want to go for too many speed ones or long ones on him, but let him do and find his own way. I'll just let him do his own thing, and he seemed quite happy doing it.
And just one thing, watching early on, I mean, obviously my own horse ran badly. I didn't think you were going that fast, but only 4 or 5 had finished.
We went quick early. At the first few, I thought for the first circuit we went quick, and I always felt from my position that they had to come back. And once we were going the last circuit, that's what happened. I mean, down the back we're virtually going very, very steady, and it was obvious from that stage that there wasn't going to be too many finishing ourselves.
And traditionally Scottish Week's a bit of a party for you and your fellow jockeys. What, tonight?
Yeah, we've got to make it back to Yorkshire tonight, but something will happen, I'm sure.
With your record, you'll do it. Thank you very much. Well done.
What do you mean, Jim?
Of survival.
Thank you.
Surprisingly popular winner with the smaller punters, that Moorcroft Boy. As I said, 25 and 20 to 1 was taken. Lots of each-way bets for it. The places were bad for the betting shop owners, having General Wolf at 9 to 2 and 4 to 1 favourite Low Tregony place, but 16 to 1 Arthur's Minstrel. Not too many people each way on that. And the only other two to finish, Abercrombie Chief was a 50 to 1 chance of fifth. And the last horse home, good old Wilford, 6 to 1. 6 Wilford, 6th and last at 14 to 1. He's now 1, then 6th, 9th and 10th in Scottish Nationals. What a great old fellow he is, that Wilford. But generally the bookmakers delighted with the result. Without Moorcroft Boy, they would have been hammered pretty hard by General Wolf. This is a very early show here, puts penny a day in the 7 to 4 favourite number 5 with Monarch Hasman, a 3 to 1 chance with 7 to 2 Half a Mole and 8 to 1 Father 3 for the Scottish Nationals. Once again, a bookies benefit for the 50th time in the last 53 runnings of the Scottish National. The favourite's gone down to defeat.
Now from stayers to sprinters, the 420 at Thirsk, first number 2 Karanita at 11 to 2, second number 5 Astrat at 3 to 1, and third number 1 Venture Capitalist, the 7 to 4 favourite. 7 ran. And at Bangor, the 415, first number 7 Jason's Boy completing a double for jockey Dan Fort at 6 to 1, second number 5 Choicey at 12 to 1, and third number 8 Punching Gale at 5 to 1. Number 1 3 Saints, the 13 to 8 favourite there, 11 ran.
So the Scottish National over. Of course, we've still got one more race to come from here, but the Scottish jumping season sort of reaches its climax with this Scottish National. And then, of course, there's a wonderful Perth Festival which begins on Wednesday. Lots of fun, and particularly the rain that we've had in Scotland has ensured that there'll be strong support from the south. The big southern stables going up there as well. And as David Nicholson said, he's got a few to run with Barton Bank in the Whitbread next weekend, and that also prompts me to remember Punchestown Festival, which starts on Tuesday. Some brilliant action there as well. So still lots of National Hunt action to come, and we'll have highlights from Punchestown in our show at Sandown Park next Friday. So that's something to make a note of. Punchestown highlights next Friday at Sandown. We'll be back for the last one from here very shortly. Just a quick break now.
Fellow citizens, I bring you good news. Kellogg's Fruit and Fiber now has a more banana-y taste. Bigger, nutty bits. And it's far fruitier and tastier than ever.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fiber. Taste the difference now.
This living room wasn't worth living in. This greenhouse used to be white. This lighthouse used to be dark. Once a perfect finish meant at least 2 coats. New Dulux Once gloss and emulsion covers beautifully in only 1. This dressing room was sky blue. This bookcase was red all over.
Most leading engineers are very secretive about what inspires them to build a better car in the future. And the engineers analyzing this new Accord have every reason to be secretive, because they didn't build the car. Honda did. The new Accord from Honda. as others are finding out, built without compromise.
He wants to what's called Ken. Yes, he's a farmer, and he's pecked by a bantam rooster, and he slowly takes on the personifications of a hen. The whole, like, gravel, eating it, and scratching around, and, you know, pecking people. It's fantastic.
Try Air Canada's executive first if you just can't bear to be off the phone.
Brings his own feathers. It's going to be an easy deal. No, it's a low-budget picture, $500 million.
Now, relief from arthritic pain is at your fingertips. Movalac Relief in the handy new 40-gram pack. Smooth on Movalac Relief. Soothe away pain.
Let's just take a break from the jumping here at Ayr. One more live race to come to reflect on what has been quite a week on the flat. I remember last weekend a very well-known Newmarket trainer said a lot of bubbles will be burst this week because we've seen some of the big classic trials so far, and with the 1,000 and the 2,000 guineas, the first classics of the season, now just 2 weeks away. Well, let's look back and see who's been running themselves into, and of course those who'll be running themselves out of, the classic picture. Ladies first, so let's start with the Shadwell Stud Nell Gwynn Stakes on Tuesday. And all eyes here were on Vince Salsabil, who looked fit and ready to do the business in this race.
Well, inside the final furlong now, and Vince Salsabil, here goes Thrilling Day, with a storming run on the outside. Vince Salsabil taken in by Thrilling Day, and up the line it's going to be close. Oh, a photo, very close call that. Vince Salsabil, Thrilling Day, one for the judge.
Yes, that was close, but look at the reaction as we see behind the horse. Just watch Leslie Graham, woohoo, when the judge announced that Thrilling Day, the filly her husband Neil trained, had got it to beat the favourite. Bosra Sham, meanwhile, was displaying her goods on the Newmarket Gallops on Wednesday morning before pulverising the opposition in the Dubai duty-free Fred Darling Stakes. Her 6-length victory showed that she's right out of the top draw and is going to take some beating in the 1,000 guineas. Blue Duster, meanwhile, her nearest market rival, had a racecourse workout on Thursday evening, and because of the ground, jockey Michael Cannan didn't let her go, but she looked good, and she'll go straight for the guineas. But don't forget the French. Cricket Head has got a useful filly in a Votre Santé, and she was impressive at Saint-Cloud.
There's that Votre Santé going 3 or 4 clear now to Ataranka in second place, and then Wedding Gift is coming with a run on the outside of Tarto Pom into second place. This Votre Santé made all the running, and Freddie Head looked round. There's absolutely no danger whatsoever. It's 6-8 clear as it races up towards the line. Votre Santé wins it very impressively indeed. Tarto Pom and Wedding Gift for second and third, but Votre Santé is the winner.
And Votre Santé put in at 10-1. Now, the obvious favourite, Bosra Sham, is odds on. But just to tell you that 32 winners of the Fred Darling have won in the Pertemps 1,000 guineas. Only 3 have managed to win. And statistically, it's more likely it will finish last, with 4 have finished last. But in fact, of course, Bosra Sham very impressive yesterday. 5-4 on with Corals, not really being shaken. That Bosra Sham, though, nobody's rushing in to go and back it. It's then 5-1 Blue Duster, and 9 fillies have won it first time out as 3-year-olds since the war. 10 of Bosra Santé, and 10-1 the 2 Vince, with 25-1 Bar. But there have been 15 odds on chances this century in the 1,000 guineas. 10 have won and 5 have lost. Will Bosra Sham go and improve that record?
Also, don't forget Blue Duster. I was talking to Lester Pickett yesterday, who's been riding her in some work, and he said she's a very high-class filly. But now, let's turn to the colts, and the big shock of the week was the defeat of Al Haas, the favourite for both the 2,000 guineas and the Derby in the Craven Stakes. We'll see that race soon, but let's first of all look at a colt who ran himself into the guineas picture with a victory in the Fielden Stakes. Now, this horse was Stormtrooper, yet another of Henry Cecil's Warren Place regiment, who blitzed his rivals in this 9-furlong contest. Padetta his mount landed some decent bets here, and he was so impressive that Stormtrooper now has the guineas as his early season objective. Lion Eyes was another well-backed favourite in the Alex Scott Maiden Stakes. He could now be a guineas possible.
They raced out of the dip. It's Lion Eyes and Mutadara who do battle, and John Reed getting the upper hand yet again on Lion Eyes over Willie Carson on Mutadara. But Mutadara is picking up as they race up towards the line. Lion Eyes going on by a neck, by a half, by 1. Lion Eyes, Mutadara 1 and 2.
But the big race of the week was the Craven, and the red-hot odds-on favourite here, Al Harth, in the blue colours, ran a bit free early on under a moderate early pace. When the tempo quickened, he did come to the front, but he could never really assert his superiority, and right behind him, the grey, Beecham King, was ready to pounce.
And it's a Polaris flight, rear to reader with a noseband. Al Haref the outside. Now the grey Beecham King pulled wide. Pommard hasn't got the room. And Willie Carson is asking Al Haref to go. Down into the dip it is, and it's by about half a length. The grey Beecham King is making a fight of it now. Polaris flight left behind. Here comes Beecham King to take Al Haref, but he races up towards the line. And Beecham King has floored Al Haref, or has he? Because Al Haref rallies, but it's not enough. And Beecham King takes it, Al Haref second.
So a real shock in the Craven, although Al Harth should improve for the run. Winning jockey John Reed was in no doubt that Beecham King would do the same.
Well, I think this horse will improve for his run as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a little bit of rain here, I think it would help me. I think he'd be better with a bit of cut in the ground.
I just wonder who's going to go off favourite now for the per tenth 2,000 guineas. 2-1 Al Haraf. That's the price put in now, but there's no great support for him now, with 5-2 Beecham King, who won the Racing Post Trophy as a 2-year-old and the only one to win the Racing Post and the 2,000 guineas high top for Willie Carson in 1972. 10-1 Mark of Esteem, but that Danehill Dancer's come in now to 8-1. That's the price at Ladbrokes, Danehill Dancer, and only Wallow in 1976 has won the Greenham and gone on to win the 2,000 guineas. You can then get outsiders being looked at like Stormtrooper, Bijou Dandy and Regiment. But the news down here is, are we going to get a lot of support for Al Haref, who was odds on only about 72 hours ago? It's not odds on now. Will it even start favourite for the Pertemps and Leisure?
So they're at the start for the 440, the Samsung Electronics Handicap Hurdle Race. Here's Graham with the runners and riders.
And Ardor for the top weights at 11-1, Graham Bradley. White Willow 16-1, Mr. Michael Norton claiming 7. Cocky Lane is an 8-1 chance with David Parker, and Paradise doesn't run. So Mark Wire, a moment's breathing space. Number 5, Penny a Day, the 2-1 favourite. Unbeaten Penny a Day, beating him and rides. Burnt Import 8-1, Jason Callahan. Monica's Man 3-1, Richard Dunn. Woody Arthur Mole 4-1. That's partnered by Guy Upton. Dancing Dove doesn't take part either. High Mind does 20-1, Chris Maud, well appointed doesn't, Nicholas Plant completes the lineup, it's a 33-1 chance, and Gary Cahill puts up a pound overweight.
So another slog coming up. In actual fact, it's just been drizzling throughout the last hour or so. The ground is a little bit sloppier now, slightly easier for the horses to get through it. And Penny a Day, just one more horse that Mary Reevely has looked after and placed incredibly well. 3 runs over hurdles, 3 wins. He also had a spin on the flat again the other day. She really is expert at doing this. Monica's Man, unlucky at Cheltenham. I don't know whether he cocked his jaw or ran out with Jamie Osborne. Took him a long time to pull this horse up of Alan Jarvis's, but prior to that he's been a very impressive winner at Newbury. Yeah, that's not worked out well though, Alistair.
No, but Alan Jarvis always thought the world of him, and yes, I mean Cheltenham you had to just write off, and he must have every chance here, and he's fairly strong in the market. 3-1. There's Arthur Mole in the middle, sweating up a bit. Love the ground. Arthur Mole ran well at Aintree, but doesn't look brilliant. There's Monica's Man, who did look outstandingly well in the paddock. There's Arthur Mole again. Jim Older's sent a number of runners up here this week. They haven't really had the sort of joy they did last year, and they had 2 winners. One I got a share in ran dismally in the opener, and you just wonder how well they are. But as I say, Arthur Mole will love this ground. He must have cut, and he'll be getting it here.
Under orders on the way then for the Samsung Electronics Handicap Hurdle Race from the very short run to the first flight. They're at it now, and they're all safely over. Time to tell you then that it's Cocky Lane, the outside of Ard Wolf, who are setting the race alight. 2 lengths back to Arthur Mole, who's settled third, was very wide on the track. And then Monica's Main, grey and red, the inside of Penny a Day. The back marker is just Nicholas Plant as they race away down towards flight number 2. At which it was Cocky Lane who led, and the others virtually in the air together. That's Ard Wolf the black cap the inside. So it's Hard Wolf just going on now. Hard Wolf and Cocky Lane 1 and 2. Through into third, we have Monica's Man and then Arthur Mole racing 4. Followed by High Mind in the 5 position, wide on the track, and next to the rail is Penny a Day with those black and pink striped sleeves. Burnt Him follows, and that's closely attended by Nicholas Plant, and White Willow towards the back. So, make the turn towards the home run. Three flights of hurdles to jump here. They jump 11 in all in this 2.5-mile handicap hurdle, with on the right of the picture with the black velvet cap, Hard Wolf leading. Orange colours Cocky Lane in second. And then we've got into third Monica's Man, the inside of High Mind and Penny a Day and Arthur Mole. And then behind these we've got Burnt Imp, and after Burnt Imp, White Willow, and it's Nicholas Plant out the back. Middle flight in the home straight. 3 flights of hurdles come very quickly indeed. Good jumping test. And it's Hard Wolf that has the edge. Yes, Cocky Lane out wide. This will be the last next time round, so it's Hard Wolf and Cocky Lane who jumped it well. Arthur Mole on the outside. Penny a Day nipping through, or at least trying to nip through on the inside. There's only about 4 lengths between the whole lot. Graham Bradley in the maroon colours with that black velvet cap leading. Cocky Lane and David Parker the outside in second, and then making a bit of ground on the outside, High Mind, and then Monica's Man. Let's check the odds then. Penny a Day, the 2-to-1 favourite. Monica's Man 11-4. Arthur Mole, Arthur the Mole board at 4-1. Nicholas Plant still just the back marker, but still no more than 6 lengths off the pace, which is still being set by Hard Wolf. Hard Wolf and Cocky Lane 1 and 2. High Mind the outside of Monica's Man and Arthur Mole, and then Burnt in for Penny a Day and White Willow, and then Nicholas Plant. Level up down the back stretch. 3 flights of hurdles to jump here as well. 6 left then in the Samsung Electronics handicap hurdle, and it's probably just Cocky Lane with orange and blue colours showing you the 4. Cocky Lane just the leader, with on the inside Hard Wolf. High Mind out wide. Now Penny a Day charging through in those stripes. Arthur Mole and the check colours bang there. They're all well in with chances. At the back of the pack, Nicholas Plant has passed one. The back marker is now Burnt in, because they take the middle flight on the back straight. And Cocky Lane led. Cocky Lane, Hard Wolf the inside, still 1 and 2. Penny a Day. High Mind. White Willow's making ground on the outside, very wide indeed. Here comes Monica's Man, Richard Dunwoody in the grey and red on the inner, as they race towards the last on the far side. Anybody's race. Cocky Lane probably just the leader. Arthur Mole out wide. Penny a Day. Monica's Man moving sweetly through on the inside. And then we have White Willow. And then Nicholas Plant plumbing on, and then High Mind. A big gap to Hard Wolf, who dropped tamely away. Might well be pulled up that one. Burnt Him also finding this ground not to his liking at all. But Cocky Lane, course regular, running well. He has the edge just out wide. Monica's Man in grey and red. Through on the inside, Nicholas Plant, one of the big outsiders in green. White Willow just chopped off. Arthur Mole out wide. Penny a Day, the favourites, close enough there at the top of the home straight. They've got 3 furlongs to go. Quite some little run yet before they come down towards the third flight from home. And they're right across the track. We've got Arthur Mole, the stand side. Cocky Lane, Penny a Day going well. On the inside, White Willow, and then Nicholas Plant. Here we are coming down towards the third last, at which any one of 4 could lead. And it was probably just Arthur Mole, the stand side, Penny a Day, and White Willow, the Reevely runners on the right. A red cap is Cocky Lane. Here we are, 2 out, at which 4 in line. Oh, a close call there. Cocky Lane, the mistake. Penny a Day just going on. White Willow's on a going day. On the right, Arthur Mole back in third place. They've got 1 to jump, and it's Penny a Day with striped sleeves. White sleeves, White Willow, Penny a Day, and White Willow. So Mary Reeve is going to train the winner, and it's probably going to be Penny a Day. Penny a Day and White Willow at the line. Penny a Day, 4 out of 4. White Willow second. Then we have Arthur Mole in third, and then Cocky Lane, followed by Nicholas Plant. Then came Monica's Man. A big gap to High Mind, continuing with Burnt Him, but pulled up Hard Wolf. And so the 2-to-1 favourite has won. That's number 5 on the card, Penny a Day, and the colours Mr. J. Good, trained at Saltburn by Mary Reevely. The 2-to-1 Johnny Favourite. You had Peter Niven's strength to thank you there. Second horse home is also trained by Mary Reevely. That was White Willow. He had a going day. And third was number 8, Arthur Mole, in those check colours. on the far side, coming down this run of flights of hurdles in the home stretch.
Well, tremendous finish again here between the two Reedley horses, and you've got to say that we've been well entertained by all of these runners here this afternoon. They've had to work hard through this ground. Penny a Day had a run on the flat just the other day. He's had to work a lot harder this afternoon to win this. White Willow on this side with just in third place there. Arthur Mole, he came there with every chance at the third last, but Jumping was what won Penny today. This race, he jumped better than the others over these three quick hurdles. 4 in a row.
So Penny a Day still unbeaten over hurdles. The winner, the 2-to-1 favourite. Second, number 2, White Willow at 16-to-1. Third, number 8, Arthur Mole at 4-to-1. Non-runners numbers 4, 9 and 11, and 9 ran. And now news at Newbury on the 4:30. A significant winner here. First, number 9, Nash House. The 9-to-4 on favourite, a half-brother to Spectrum, and in both the Dante and the Derby, he's a 16-to-1 chance for the Vodafone Derby after this impressive win. Second, number 13, the Dilettanti at 50-to-1, and third, number 8, Mucles at 6-to-1. Non-runner there, number 14, and 14 ran.
Well, Peter Niven got down to 10-2 for the Scottish National, gained some compensation on Penny a Day. Hard for him, the afternoon's whizzed by for us. A lot's happened. High time for a recap.
So she drove it. Fran, we found her miles away from the car.
Nothing. Let's take it in.
I'll drive it.
So, how do you feel now?
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
I'll drive it.
The new Mitsubishi Colt. It's too much for some people.
Why must I work like a dog?
Renewal 1664, the best love premium beer in France. Sorry.
Well, now, as promised, we'll have that recap. At the end of the programme, we'll show you how Moorcroft Boy, ridden by Mark Dwyer, took the Scottish National. But for now, here are the other races.
Come down towards the second mark, and it's Master Sandy in the lead. Back in second place, Tough Test. Here we are, Joe. Oh, he's gone through it. Master Sandy, what a bad mistake. He lost a bit of momentum. But Tough Test is under pressure, and so too Northern Future. They've got one more flight of hurdles to jump. And it's Master Sandy coming to it, pressing hard on the outside. It's Tough Test, and again Master Sandy jumps it slowly, and Tough Test comes to pass Master Sandy as they drive to the line, tired horses, but Tough Test is going to take it. Tough Test to win a Master Sandy second. A big break for the third, Northern Future. One to jump, and Montreuil is suddenly very leg weary indeed, but no pain, no gain. It's a very tired horse too. They come down towards the final fence. And it's Montreuil with no pain, no gain, and no pain, no gain, just the stronger. Montreuil back in second, and as they battle up towards the line, very leg weary indeed, but no pain, no gain, going on by a length. Oh, what a tired horse, but he's going to win it. No pain, no gain. Montreuil is second. This is a ditch they're coming to now. This is 2 out. And it's Challenger to look. He takes it well. And Arctic comes with a crashing fall. Allington Boy left in second place. They've got one more fence to jump. And Arctic Kinsman's on his feet. They come down towards the final fence with the noseband. Here comes Allington Boy. This is the last, at which Allington Boy left in the lead. Challenger to look can find no more. And Allington Boy, ridden by Tony Dobbin. A great waiting race is going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clear. Up towards the line. It's Allington Boy, the winner. Alderbrook, the former champion hurdler with the noseband, looks to be going better than any now, doesn't he? Here we are, 2 up with the noseband. Alderbrook on the outside, Ectatus League and Musina, then Landafar and Chief Minister being left behind in the rush. But it's Alderbrook, Clarkey, down towards the final flight. Alderbrook pops it well. Ectatus League in second, 2 set under the handicap. Muse blunders away his chances. Landafar comes through to be third, but it's Alderbrook in a league of his own.
Alderbrook, class winner and a classy day's racing as well. Terrific stuff. The 155, the winner, number 8, Tough Test at 12-1. In the 225, it was number 1, No Pain, No Gain, the 7-4 on favourite. In the 255, number 1, Addington Boy, a horse to follow, 5-2. 325, number 1, Alderbrook, the 11-8 on favourite. The 405, number 30, Moorcroft Boy, back from the dead to win the Scottish Grand National at 20-1. And in the 440, number 5, Penny a Day, the 2-1 favourite. Champion tips to details today. Maximum points available 198, and we're looking for telephone claims of 130 points or more. Here's the telephone number: 0990 100 366, 0990 100 366. Now, plenty of big race action at Newbury today in the 230, the Lanes End John Porter Stakes. Number 11, Spout, the winner at 6-1, getting up in the last stride to beat number 4, Wayne County, at 11-1, with third, number 1, Moonax, the 7-4 favourite, non-runner number 8, and 10 ran. And in the Triple Print Greenham Stakes, the 3 o'clock, number 1, Danehill Dancer, now 8-1 for the Pertemps 2,000 guineas, the even money favourite today in the Greenham. Second, number 3, Kahir Al Maidan at 11-2, and third, number 7, Tagula at 6-1, 8 ran. And the Ladbroke Spring Cup handicap at 330, a win for number 14, Royal Philosopher at 25-1. Second, number 15, Cool Edge at 14-1. Third, number 1, Caddo Trist at 12-1. And fourth, number 7, Welton Arsenal at 16-1. Number 4, Clan Ben, the 7-1 favourite, and 20 ran.
Now the stories behind those headlines. Danehill Dancer won the Triple Print Greenham in decent style, now as low as 6-1 with William Hill for the 2,000 guineas. Neville Callahan said he would like to see some rain at Newmarket in the next 2 weeks, but Pat Edry, who rode him, said he's a real live wire, this one, and will come on for the race. Danehill Dancer completed a double for Monaco-based owner Michael Tabor, because earlier his High Baroque had comfortably won the opener, and he's now on course for the Italian Derby. Trainer Peter Chapelheim completed a double when newcomer Nash House impressively won the 430 by 5 lengths in the Dante, in the Derby, 16-1 for that. Could be an Irish Guineas horse as well. Roger Charlton Spout won the John Porter at 6-1. He now goes for the Ormond Stakes at Chester. Royal Philosopher sprang a 25-1 shock in the Ladbroke Spring Cup. That was a trainer John Hills. And Cherry Blossom really shone in the 2-year-old race, and that was a nice winner for Pat Edry, a double for him. She now goes for the Queen Mary. News from Thirsk, a double for Mickey's to be and jockey John Egan. They had 2 winners as Mile End Girl and Stuffed, and a double over the jumps at Bangor for jockey Danny Ford, and he's had his claim reduced from £5 to £3.
Did you get the picture puzzle? Well, the answer, of course, was General Wolf. I think most of us on the morning line sussed that out at first glance. General Wolf. And remember, a star prize for the first one out of the hat, and that goes to Molly Parks from Belgrave Place in Brighton. As well as £100, she wins 2 members' badges and lunch at Sandown Park next Saturday for the Whitbread Gold Cup. And the 2 runners-up will each get £100 of Paul Redfern from Sheffield and Mrs. N. Callahan from Meath. And coming up from Channel 4 at Sandown Park, we've got the Punchestown highlights as well as our show from there. Sandown Park, the Whitbread Gold Cup on Saturday. And May 3rd, 4th and 5th, the Pertemps Guineas Festival with Jockey Club Stakes, the 2,000 guineas and the 1,000 guineas. So, the Scottish National, first run in 1867, added yet another chapter to its illustrious history. Red Rum, of course, holds most affection in our hearts. But today was the day a horse called Moorcroft Boy came back from the dead, almost literally. Bye-bye.
having to work very hard, but Moorcroft Boy is going to take the second casino. Scottish Grand National. Moorcroft Boy is the winner.
(1952) Harrow Wealdstone rail disaster, 112 dead. Out of tragedy came vital discoveries.
Patients needed treatment where they lay, not in the hospital an hour or so later.
Meet Jane and Richard, licensed to up or downgrade.
We use the symbol Q, stands for the quality.
Meet the hotel inspectors.
Comfy bed. Somebody might have had their false teeth in there. It's not a very nice thought, is it?
Monday night from 9 on 4.
Blonde, your mission this week. We want you to meet with the following people. Choose a discreet spot, nothing too public. Get to know them. Find out what makes them tick. Then take appropriate action.
The Gabby Rodman Show, tonight at 9 on Channel 4.
Ron's planned rescue of the innocents abroad stirs up a couple of old feuds. Brookside is next here on 4.
Irresistible, lively, beautifully put together, and just perfect for delivery. The Skoda Felicia Estate, from £7,585 on the road.
The Sunday Telegraph isn't what you'd expect from a Sunday paper. Not only bursting with life, it now contains a free MasterChef menu card every week. And if that doesn't keep you busy, Sally Gunnell's new fitness guide certainly will. It should help you work up an appetite. The Sunday Telegraph. Sunday best value at only 70p.
Customer loyalty program. So the latest thing in retail marketing. Make the customer feel rewarded for their customers by giving them little discounts, food vouchers, etc.
We've had a customer loyalty program for over 30 years now here. It's called keeping the prices so low, people keep coming back for more.
Quick Save, cutting the cost of shopping.
Don't lose. Take the rough with the smooth.
What's the worst kept promise in the world, eh? I do. Take the...
No, not that one. Mr. Cynical. It's this one.
Hi, George. Look, I can't stop. I'll give you a call.
We say it all the time.
Hi, how are you? Can't stop. I'll give you a call.
We even put it on our Christmas cards. I'll call you in the new year. Oh, yeah. That's it. Daft, isn't it? We let a friendship drift just for the want of a phone call. So if you said recently you'll call someone, well, do it. Right now. And after all, you're not the type of person to break a promise, are you?
George, it's Tom. Well, I said I would, didn't I?
It's good to talk.
This greenhouse used to be white. This lighthouse used to be dark. Once a perfect finish meant at least 2 coats. New Dulux Once gloss and emulsion covers beautifully in only one. This dressing room was sky blue.
And now some strange goings-on the moor. Martin.
Well, it all happened so quickly, like, whoosh! 1 minute there we are, walking down the Coppice Way, and the next, bang, gosh! Yeah!
We've never seen anything like it, have we, Sue?
It came from nowhere. It was obviously made by some form of higher intelligence because the control panel actually communicated with us.
And what did it say?
It said, "Too warm, too warm." Safe food storage with Zanussi Cool Check, the appliance of science. Brad Pitt stars in Legends of the Fall. A story of brotherhood.
My fiancée, Susanna.
So this is Tristan.
Torn apart by passion.
Can't make her happy. Gonna try. You will fail.
War. And tragedy. Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins in Legends of the Fall. Yours to own on video.
Are you ready for summer? Because at Weight Watchers, we're certainly ready for you with Slim and Trim 96 and our new summer guarantee. Join Weight Watchers today, and if you don't lose half a stone in just 3 weeks, we'll give you a week free. Guaranteed. And right now, registration is free, saving you £9. So wear the things you want this summer. Call 01703 639 951 and join Weight Watchers now. You'll register free and get our summer guarantee.
The big breakfast.
Imagine one show with gas